What's up, everybody? Today is Singled Out Saturday. I know I've been slow with putting videos out, but statistics has been kicking your girl's tail. So pray for me, okay? Today we are going to jump into a video. If you saw the title, today we are talking about self-control. So, of course, everybody knows if you're new to this page, first of all, hello, like the page, share the page, and make sure that you subscribe, because when I post videos, you want to make sure that you can see them. So make sure you also hit that notification button. Okay. All right. So self-control. That kind of, for me, goes into the box of patience and discipline. And I don't like it. Like, I understand the value in it, but I don't like it. And so you guys know that I am walking out my single season. I'm going, I got a testimony for you guys. I am going on my trip to Africa. We're going to interject right here. So you guys know that as part of my single season, I wanted to do a solo trip by myself. I chose Namibia as my solo trip. So I was pretty much waiting to buy a flight, and I'm leaving in June, guys. It's February. If you're doing an overseas flight, you should probably have that 6 months before you go. So I had been looking at tickets, wasn't really what I like. Tickets leaving from Atlanta were almost 5,000. I was like, that's ridiculous. I either need to learn how to teleport or something's gonna have to happen. So I have been looking. I really wanted to fly Qatar. I don't know why. I think they just had a lot of good reviews, and so I figured for my first solo trip, I wanted to make sure I was comfortable. Good. Well, I went on to Qatar. Leaving from Atlanta was super expensive. Leaving from, I put in JFK. Leaving from there was like just as expensive as leaving from Atlanta. And then I put in Chicago, which I found a ticket for like $758, but I wasn't in the position to buy it at that day. So I have been just kind of thinking about, looking every day at tickets, every day at tickets, and I was getting discouraged because I'm not finding a ticket that is conducive for me. Like, I need a ticket. One of the things that I did do that the Holy Spirit reminded me, y'all, he is so good. I just prayed and missed. I was getting frustrated. And I was like, God, I need a ticket. I need the right ticket at the right time for the right price. This is ridiculous. And I went on about my business. Tuesday I got up and I had some money to buy a ticket, and so I went and I looked, and I was getting frustrated because Qatar had no flights going to Namibia, y'all. Nothing. Not from Atlanta, not from Chicago, not from JFK, nothing. So I got frustrated. I did find a ticket, but it was $3,500, and I didn't know if it was, I struggle with spending money on me. I can spend money on Amari, I can spend money on food, I can spend money on, but spending that amount on me, I struggle with. And so I had no peace whatsoever. I was like, I don't feel good. And my mom was like, Christina, if you have no peace, don't buy the ticket. So I said, okay. So the next morning we're doing the 40-day prayer challenge. And so the next morning I got up, went in to do my prayer, and I just felt like I didn't have the words to pray. So I began just to pray in the Spirit. And I said, I have my list of people, and I said, God, I don't know how you want me to pray for them. I don't feel like I have the words today. I'm just going to pray through the Spirit, and you pray for them. So I began to pray in the Spirit, and as I was praying in the Spirit, I was prompted to look for a ticket. And at first I was like, my religious side kicked in, and I was like, how you going to be looking for a plane ticket and you praying to God? But I went and I looked. Again, Qatar had nothing. I don't know why I was fixated on Qatar, but they had nothing. So I went to Google and I typed in a thing and I found a ticket, and I was like, this is relatively low, really low. And so I look and I see at the time the other tickets, because I had waited so long, were 52 hours, and I was like, that's too long. That's way too long. So I found this ticket, and it was the original ticket that I wanted to buy. Not only was it the original ticket, it was leaving from Atlanta, so I don't have to fly anywhere else. And the ticket price was well under what I had set my standard for, and it also included trip insurance and luggage insurance. Not only that, it got me to, so I leave here, I go to London, I leave London, and I go to Africa. It set me up where my layovers are perfect. Y'all, I booked that ticket so quick. I booked that ticket so quick. And I was like, for a minute I stopped and I was like, do I have peace? And I was like, well, I don't feel like I felt yesterday. Boom, booked my ticket. So I'm going to Africa, y'all. All right, back to the story. So, self-control. Hate it, don't like it. I'm not going to say I hate it. I don't like it. I don't like having to deny my flesh. Doesn't feel good. I understand the benefits of it. I do. And it takes discipline, and discipline takes change and determination and accountability. All words that I'm really not a fan of, but I understand the purpose of it. Especially during this single season. Being single and deciding to wait until marriage to have sex, that was something that at first wasn't easy for me. But then once I understood the value of my body and I understood the value of what sex meant, I was like, oh, no brainer for me. No condemnation for anybody who's struggling, because it is a struggle. But I figured out what my why was. So it was easy for me to figure out that I didn't want to have sex until I'm married. Fast forward to, y'all know I'm waiting for my whole husband to find me. Not rushing. I am enjoying my single season. But what happens is I will meet a guy, any guy, and I will automatically go in my mind and be like, is that my husband? Is that him? Oh, he reads the Bible. Oh, he does this. Guys, it's not pretty what goes on up here. And so I had to take a step back and I had to go, okay, Christina, stop. Stop. Because it is not your job to find your husband. It is your husband's job to find you. It is your job to respond. But you do that through the Holy Spirit. You ask him. You get him involved in this single season. And when the guy comes, you will know. So I've gotten a couple of words over the last month that have all been pertaining to a husband. And I was like, oh, okay. Where it was like, you will know when they come, they won't be a sheep in a wolf in sheep's clothing. Like, you will know. And I'm like, okay, if I have to, okay, I'm just gonna sit and rest. Still a struggle when I meet any guy and we're just talking. I'm always in the back of my mind, I'm like, is that your whole husband? So I'm learning to wheel that in. About the beginning of February, the Holy Spirit had told me, I was deciding, I was just feeling yucky and stuff. And I was like, okay, maybe I need to do a detox. Maybe I'll do a Daniel fast, but I don't want to do a complete Daniel fast. Maybe I'll modify it because it's not really going to be a fast. And the Holy Spirit was like, no, you should do a fast. And I was like, not your business. Like, gosh. But I decided to do a modified Daniel's fast. And it was very modified, where I would have 1 cup of coffee in the morning and the rest of the day was water. I would do, now I say no meats. Pretty much it was a pescatarian diet, or it is a pescatarian diet. I would not eat it. Only thing I'm eating is fish, shrimp, vegetables. I was still eating cheese. I'm still eating cheese and stuff like that, but pretty much no red meat, no pork, no chicken, no turkey, no nothing. If it's not seafood, I'm not eating it, pretty much. And so I thought it was just, I didn't know what the purpose of the fast was. I really had no idea. But I have 2 more days of this. And as I was on the fast, a friend of mine said, you're on this fast for self-control, right? So that when a guy comes up to you, you'll have the self-control to not automatically want to make them a husband. And I was like, what? What? Oh, I'm thinking I'm fasting because I'm just bloated and stuff. But what? You mean there's purpose to this fast? You mean it's teaching me something? It's creating in me something? And I was like, how dope is God that I'm struggling with something and you direct me to go on a fast that's going to help center me and get me to the point where I'm dealing with it. How dope is God? And at first, the fast was hard. I would smell bacon and want to cry. I would want me a cheeseburger or something, a steak, some. And now I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'm doing pretty well. Like my son would come in here and he would cook and he'd be like, Mom, I'm about to make some chicken. Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Do what you need to do. And I was like, Well, look at me developing self-control. And so it's been good. It's been, I won't say it's been easy, but again, because I understand and now I know what the fast is for, I'm more inclined to go with it. So my whole thing today with self-control is, if you struggle, well, I'm not telling you to go on a fast. I'm not one of those people to be like, you need to fast, you need to pray. Nah, you let the Holy Spirit lead you on how you're going to do that. However, in this time, I always say self-control is something you need during the single season. It is the thing that is going to stop you from going home with dude. It is the thing that's going to stop you from entertaining the dude who called you beautiful. Just like, it is going to allow you to be patient, wait and see. Self-control is the thing that is going to allow you to sit and see the difference between his personality and his character. And so it's essentially the thing that's going to protect you. So if you are struggling, I'm encouraging you to seek God, ask him to show you how to work out this self-control thing, because he will. And he will do it in a way that is conducive for you. And so don't feel condemned. If you mess up, you mess up. Get back up. It's okay. We serve a gracious God. He is awesome. He is, y'all, I'm telling you, he is concerned with the little things. I got a vacuum cleaner for a house I don't even have yet. Like, God is strategic. He is strategic, and he is a God that is not limited by time. He is not limited by, the only thing that can limit God is us. And when we move ahead and we try to get things in order and we try to situate things, we have to sustain that. When we allow God to come in and he direct, the word says, in all your ways acknowledge me and I will direct your paths. In all your ways, in your single season, in your family life, in your work life, in your gym life, in your diet, acknowledge me. Ask me to help. I got you. And I believe that's what God is saying today. He's like, I got you. So that was today's Singles Out. I'm sorry it's been so long. I'm going to get back on it. I'm also working on a couple of t-shirts and hoodies that I'm going to be getting out to you guys so that you can see. Make sure that you like, you share, and most importantly, you subscribe to this page. Make sure you hit that bell notification. I love you guys. I'm proud of you. You got this. I am going to be posting some stuff about the books that I've been reading during my single season. Mind blowing. So stay tuned for that. Love you guys.